Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans. What we do around here is bring about conversations of a psychological, emotional, and mental health paradigm. We try to do that as often as we can. We do it several times per week, usually, sometimes daily. We try to do this so that we can make the world a better place, one audio at a time. If you're looking for coaching, would love to be of service to you, please feel free to reach out at Golden Opportunities Coaching on YouTube here in the About Me section, or on PO Perception on Twitter, and either way will get you in touch with me or a member of my team. We can set something up from there. Today we're going to talk about kind of personality archetypes, four things that kind of make you a more well-rounded person, and we're going to kind of go through a series of these over the next several audios in hopes to make things mean more in terms of building better relationships. And building relationships is something that's really valuable and necessary in the long and short term of living a happy, healthy life. The first is assertiveness. So learning how to be assertive without being a bully, it has a lot to do with knowing your personal boundaries, knowing what you can and cannot tolerate. Everyone has different tolerance levels, but when you don't know your tolerance level, you'll actually take things out on another person, which is where bullying comes from. Or when you don't hold people to the standards that you find acceptable, you'll take things out on other people eventually. Now, this could take several weeks or months to develop, but when things boil over and you're not living authentically in the way that you desire to, it can be extremely difficult to begin to understand how to be more assertive and living in a healthy way without necessarily cutting yourself off to spite your own face. There's a difference between assertion and aggression. Aggression comes from a place of anger, whereas assertion comes from a place of balance. You're trying to be fair when you're assertive, but you're also trying not to be manipulated or controlled. And so aggression comes from a place of not caring about being fair and getting some level of revenge, whereas assertion comes from trying to remain in emotional balance. The next is openness. So openness is the understanding that we as human beings are meant to connect with other people on an emotional level. And so therefore showing the proper level and balance of strength and vulnerability allows for openness to be at the center of relationships and interactions. So the willingness to be open is the ability to look at oneself objectively without having any sort of real negative viewpoint, but at the same time also being able to see things in a meaningful way and a way that doesn't necessarily lead us to, being in an unbalanced or unhealthy manner. The next thing is looking at the concept of leadership. And so being a leader is greatly about trying to find a level of courage and strength emotionally to be in a position to lead other people. This doesn't necessarily mean that we are knowing, excuse me, full well what is coming next for a person on a consistent basis, but it doesn't necessarily mean that finding a way to understand how to lead and where to lead and the ways in which best to do so is something we're passionate about and is important to us. So when we begin to understand the quantification and the need for strong and intelligent leadership, the easier it will be to ultimately come to a kind of level of internal and emotional balance, but also finding a way to get there in a manner that is both assertive and intelligent in our way of taking care of ourselves. The last is having willpower. Now, willpower is the ability to push through negative emotional states to get things done. It's pushing ourselves to a level of accountability even when we don't necessarily feel like it. Sometimes people allow their emotions to govern their actions, and this can be super toxic and somewhat negative in the sense of trying to expect other people to clean up our messes and or make us more successful only around the idea of getting to I guess I'd say a less meaningful manner of being. And so it can be really important to understand how to do that in manners that are both smart and intelligent without really knowing what it is we're trying to accomplish straight off. So hopefully this is helpful. I encourage you to keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.